The notification hits your phone at 2:17 in the morning. Deposit received. You expect to see your paycheck, maybe a refund, maybe $47 from some class action settlement you forgot you joined because a yogurt company lied about probiotics in 2016. But then you see the number, $1 billion. You stare at it. You blink. You bring the phone closer to your face like maybe the screen is doing a magic trick. It is not. There are 3 commas. You count them once, then again. Then you turn the phone sideways because apparently your brain thinks landscape mode might make it less insane. It does not. Your checking account, which yesterday contained enough money to buy groceries and maybe a sad little candle at Target, now looks like the personal wallet of a Bond villain. For 10 seconds, you forget every problem you have ever had. Your back pain disappears. Your student loans become comedy. Your boss becomes a civilian. You whisper the only sentence a normal person can whisper at a moment like this. No way. Then you refresh the app. Still there. You close the app. Reopen it. Still there. You turn off Wi-Fi because maybe Wi-Fi is lying. Still there. You restart your phone. Still there. Now you are standing in your kitchen at 2:24 in the morning, wearing one sock, holding a glowing rectangle that says you are richer than some countries. And for one beautiful, medically unsafe moment, you believe. You believe in miracles. You believe in banking errors. You believe that somewhere, in some fluorescent-lit office, a billionaire sneezed while typing your routing number. You do not touch anything yet. You just stare. Because this is not money anymore. This is a personality test. Your first thought is responsible. I should call the bank. Your second thought is less responsible. What if I just move a little? Your third thought is already wearing sunglasses in Monaco. You start doing billionaire math. A house for your parents, a house for yourself, a house you only use for wrapping Christmas presents. You picture the resignation email. You picture the group chat. You picture walking into work late, holding an iced coffee and telling your manager, I am actually just here for closure. And the wildest part? The app lets you dream. No warning, no red banner, no pop-up that says, please remain poor while we investigate. Just a balance. A quiet, beautiful, impossible balance. Sitting there like a dare. And that is when the real question hits you. Not, is this mine? You already know it probably is not. The real question is worse. How much trouble could I get in before they notice? By the time we are finished today, you will understand why the richest moment of your life could become the worst decision you ever make. We are going to look at the people who tried to keep mistaken money, the Wall Street mistake that accidentally launched hundreds of millions of dollars into the wrong hands, and the exact moment when a banking glitch stops being funny and starts sounding like a prosecutor reading your texts out loud in court. The balance says $1 billion. The bank is asleep. Your conscience is buffering. Let's see what happens if you spend the money. At first, nothing happens. That is what makes it dangerous. No alarm. No banker sprinting through your yard. No helicopter spotlight through the bedroom window. No nervous man in a suit kicking down your door yelling, Sir, please return to middle class immediately. Just the number, $1 billion, sitting there, quietly, politely, like it moved in and plans to stay. You tell yourself you are going to be calm. You are not going to do anything stupid. You are not like those people in documentaries who win the lottery and immediately buy 12 jet skis and a tiger. You are different. You are strategic. You are humble. You are still Googling, how much does a private island cost? But you are doing it in a grounded way. Then your imagination gets louder. You start mentally dividing the money. 100 million for taxes because you are responsible now. 200 million for investments because you watched half a podcast once. 50 million for family. 20 million for charity. 10 million for fun. Then another 10 million for fun that you do not tell the charity people about. Suddenly, Your whole personality changes. You look around your apartment and think, this place never understood me. You open Zillow and set the minimum price to 8 figures. You start judging mansions for having weird kitchens. You see a house with 7 bathrooms and think, only 7? Yesterday, you were comparing frozen pizzas. Today, you are angry that a lake house does not have a guest elevator. But underneath the fantasy, there is a tiny little buzzing sound in your brain. Something is wrong. Because money does not usually arrive like this. It does not fall out of the sky at 2:17 in the morning. It does not just appear because you have been through a lot and deserve one clean win. But you do what every person does when reality threatens a good fantasy. You look for a loophole. You search, can bank take back accidental deposit? Then, how long until mistaken money becomes yours? Then, can I be arrested if bank gave me money? Then, because things are escalating, countries with no extradition but good beaches. And every search result says some version of the same thing. Do not spend it. Do not move it. Call the bank. Give it back. Which is very annoying advice from people who clearly do not have $1 billion glowing in front of them. So you close Google. Because Google is being negative. You decide not to spend it. Not really. You are just going to test it. That is what you tell yourself. A test is not a crime. A test is science. You transfer $1,000 to your savings account, just to see what happens. It moves. Your stomach drops through the floor. Now the money is not just a number on a screen. It has obeyed you. You feel like a wizard. So you try $10,000. It moves again. Now your breathing changes. You are not rich yet, but you have touched the dragon, and the dragon did not bite. This is where people ruin their lives. Not with the giant purchase, not with the yacht, not with the suitcase of cash, with the first little transfer. Because the first little transfer creates the most dangerous feeling in the world. Confidence. You tell yourself, maybe it really is mine. Then immediately, okay, probably not. Then immediately after that, but if it was a serious problem, the bank would have stopped me. That sentence has destroyed civilizations. If it was a serious problem, they would have stopped me. That is the voice of a man about to install a hot tub on a rented balcony. That is the voice of a woman about to bring a raccoon into an Airbnb. That is the voice of someone who thinks a banking app is a legal opinion. The app letting you move money does not mean the money belongs to you. It means a computer did what you told it to do before a human noticed how insane the situation was. But now the story has changed. Before, the money appeared. That was weird. That was suspicious. But maybe you were just the confused person in the middle of a mistake. Now you are moving it. Now there are choices. Now there are timestamps. Now there is a trail. And every trail has one horrible feature. It points somewhere. This one points at you. Of course, you do what every modern person does before making a life-altering decision. You ask the dumbest people you know. You text the group chat. Hypothetically, if a bank accidentally put $1 billion in my account, what would you do? Nobody treats it hypothetically. Your friend Matt replies, "Bro, cash out." Your cousin says, "Crypto immediately." Your sister says, "Call the bank." Everyone ignores her. Someone sends a gif of Leonardo DiCaprio throwing money. Someone else says, "Buy gold." Another person says, "I know a guy." That should scare you. Anytime money appears and someone says, "I know a guy," your next stop is either bankruptcy court or a Netflix reenactment. But the group chat does something worse than give bad advice. It makes the fantasy social. Now people know. Now people are excited. Now you are not just tempted by the money. You are tempted by the reaction. Everyone wants to be the person with the crazy story. Everyone wants to say, "You will not believe what happened to me." And with $1 billion, the story is almost too good to return. So the group chat becomes your board of directors, the least qualified board of directors in American finance. They begin developing a plan. Move some money. Do not move all of it. Buy things that hold value. Pay off debt. Get a lawyer. Do not get a lawyer because lawyers will tell you no. Leave the country. Do not leave the country, that looks guilty. Go to Vegas. Definitely do not go to Vegas. But now your brain is fried. Because a normal Tuesday has become Ocean's 11, except the casino is your checking account, and your getaway driver is a man named Matt who still owes you $40. You decide to buy one thing, just one, something small, not small to normal people, small to billionaires, a watch, a really stupid watch, the kind that costs more than a teacher's salary and still somehow does not include the date. You have never been treated like this before. The salesperson offers sparkling water, not tap water, sparkling, from a glass bottle. This is how they get you. Suddenly, you are not a guy with a mistaken deposit. You are, sir. They bring out a tray. They wear gloves. They whisper the brand names like religious figures. You pretend to understand horology. You nod at words like movement and complication, even though the only complication you understand is that this purchase might appear in a criminal complaint. Then your card clears. That is the moment. The machine approves it. The receipt prints. The watch is on your wrist. For the first time in your life, luxury has agreed with you. And that is when the fantasy becomes addictive. Because if the card works at the watch store, maybe it works at the car dealership. And if it works at the car dealership, maybe it works for the mortgage. And if it works for the mortgage, maybe this is not a mistake. Maybe this is destiny with routing numbers. By lunch, you are no longer making choices. You are producing evidence. You buy the car. Then you pay off your mortgage. Then your parents' mortgage. Then your friends' student loans. Then you send your brother $2 million because he once helped you move a couch and you are apparently the king now. Then you wire $25 million into a brokerage account because some finance influencer said rich people never keep cash sitting around. This is the part no one imagines. The money does not just leave. It splatters. A little to the dealership, a little to the bank, a little to family, a little to friends, a little to investments, a little to a cousin who says he can turn vending machines into passive empire income. Suddenly, the $1 billion is not sitting in one account anymore. It is everywhere. And that is very bad. Because when the bank finds the mistake, they do not find a tidy $1 billion waiting patiently to come home. They find confetti. Expensive, traceable, legally radioactive confetti. Somewhere, in an office you have never seen, a spreadsheet does not balance. At first, this is someone else's problem. An analyst squints at a number, then refreshes, then says, "That's weird. Those are the two scariest words in finance. That's weird." A manager gets pulled in, then another manager. By the time the email chain reaches the person with the authority to ruin your afternoon, the subject line has turned into something like, "Urgent, erroneous high-value transfer." Nobody in that room is laughing. Nobody says, "Maybe the customer needed a win." Nobody says, "Let's let him keep it, he seems fun." They are trying to answer 3 questions. Where did the money go? Can we reverse it? And why is the recipient suddenly shopping like a lottery winner with a head injury? Then your phone rings. Unknown number. You ignore it. It rings again. You ignore it again. Then your bank app logs you out. You try to log back in. Error. You try the debit card. Declined. You try the credit card. Declined. You call customer service. The hold music has never sounded more judgmental. Finally, someone comes on the line and uses your full legal name. Then they say the words that bring the yacht in your imagination crashing into a reef. "We need to discuss a recent deposit." Now let's say the bank cannot get the money back quickly. The car is titled. The mortgage was paid. Your brother already bought a boat. Your cousin's vending machines, shockingly, have not produced enough passive income to cover the $25 million wire. The bank starts using colder language. Recovery, investigation, referral, potential criminal matter. That is when the fantasy changes genres. It started as comedy, then became thriller. Now it is a documentary where your neighbors are interviewed from the sidewalk. A police officer knocks on your door. Not because the bank made a mistake. The bank making a mistake is not your crime. The problem is what you did after. And this is where people get offended. They say, "But they gave it to me." No, they accidentally placed it near you. That is different. If a Brinks truck spills cash in your driveway does not become a bank branch. And if $1 billion lands in your checking account by mistake, you do not become a financial genius. You become the person standing closest to missing money. That is not a good role. $1 billion is a number that makes people cancel meetings. And this is not just a made-up nightmare. People have actually tried versions of this. Not with $1 billion, usually with much less. And much less was enough. In Louisiana, a woman was accused of receiving more than $1.2 million by mistake, when only a tiny transfer was supposed to happen. Authorities said she moved the money, bought a house and a car, and when the company tried to recover the funds, the money was gone. That did not become a quirky human interest story. It became an arrest. That is the part people forget. The bank error may be funny, the mugshot is not. And $1.2 million is enormous to a normal person. But compared to $1 billion, it is couch cushion money. If $1.2 million can bring police to the door, now somebody in the comments is already warming up their fingers. They are going to say, what about Citibank? Didn't they accidentally send almost $900 million and people got to keep it? Yes, that happened. Kind of. And for a brief moment it looked like the greatest bank error in your favor story of all time. Citibank accidentally sent nearly $900 million connected to a Revlon loan. Some lenders sent the money back. Others said, actually, thank you. And at first a court sided with the lenders. The internet loved it. It sounded like the bank had lost at its own game. But then the case kept going. And eventually, a higher court said the money had to come back. More importantly, that situation was not like yours. Those lenders were not random people in pajama pants checking their app at 2:17 in the morning. They were sophisticated financial institutions. Revlon actually owed them money. The payment looked like a real debt being paid. There were loan documents, finance teams, lawyers, and a level of complexity so boring it can legally qualify as a sleeping aid. You do not have that. You do not have $1 billion receivable. You do not have a corporate loan agreement. So what actually happens if a bank accidentally deposits $1 billion into your account? For the first few minutes, you become the richest person in every room you will ever enter. For the next few hours, your imagination becomes a 5-star resort with a lazy river. You picture cars, mansions, private jets, quiet revenge against everyone who ever said you should be more realistic. And then the bank wakes up. The account freezes. The calls begin. The lawyers appear. The transactions get reviewed. The group chat becomes a liability. The watch becomes evidence. The car becomes evidence. The cousin with the vending machines becomes, somehow, important to the investigation. That is the trick. The $1 billion feels like freedom, but it is not freedom. It is a spotlight. And the second you touch the money, that spotlight turns toward you. The bank made the first mistake. That part is not your fault. But the second mistake? The transfer, the car, the wire, the screenshot, the text that says, I think I just got away with something. That part belongs to you. So if you wake up tomorrow and your checking account says $1 billion, take a breath. Look at the number. Enjoy the most dangerous 30 seconds of your financial life. Then call the bank. Because you are not rich. You are not lucky. You are not the main character in a heist movie. You are standing next to a crime scene, and the money is asking you to touch it.